GloryDaze, the best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
With insuremyvan.ie, the van insurance specialists. See how much you can save at insuremyvan.ie.
How are we, folks? Another GloryDaze, another PJ and Jim podcast. Could turn out to be the longest podcast we've ever done.
Oh my God, yeah. It's a disgrace out there. A disgrace.
It is.
And the government are doing nothing about it.
The government. Because literally normally we record this on a Thursday, but we're doing it on Friday today because, we're doing it on Friday.
It's a long story anyway. We're doing a whole thing, yeah.
And it's snowing at the moment, because it's that.
Lashing snow.
And the thing was, right, they were saying, okay, I will admit, I did read out during the week that there was a bit of a snow warning from Med Éireann, right? But it was put across as like, there might be a bit of a flurry there or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back to... It's mank. It's like, the roads this morning and everything were like, schools are closing and everything.
Come here.
Do you know what I mean?
When this happens, right? Whatever happened to fucking COVID? When this happens, you should get a text message from the government straight to your phone saying, we are sorry. We made an absolute mistake.
Yeah.
The
government in charge of Med Éireann. The government are in charge of the weather, I suppose, aren't they?
It's civil service, right, isn't it? I don't know if it is. Doesn't matter. It's still an apology on the government.
Yeah, you're right.
Were they in charge of COVID? No, they weren't in charge of that. They still got an apology. Well, I never got an apology. That's not the fucking point I'm making. The point I'm making is, I don't like it. I don't like it. That's the point I'm making. I don't like it, and they should be doing something about it.
That's brilliant.
We should at least get a card off them to say they messed up and didn't warn us.
A card?
Yeah, a card. I said it, a fucking card. We should get a card.
Like a greeting card?
Like a card. Apologies from the government of Ireland. A harp with a sad face
you're
on
not
it.
happy.
Sorry you're not happy. A harp, a sad face, a stamp with the president's signature. We should have done something about it.
That is absolutely epic, that is.
That's what I think should happen,
That is absolutely
fantastic.
fantastic.
And when they come knocking on my fucking door at the elections, I'll be bringing it up. I'll be like saying to them, where was me card when the snow came?
Yeah.
Jim had to go up a mountain on his own in a fucking BMW. You think that's normal? I don't like it. That's what I'll say.
So the criteria for what the government is responsible for is based on whether it makes you happy or not. If you're upset about anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So something. I'm at the board in that dinner now. I put it in for too long.
Well, yeah.
I should get an apology from the government.
Well, Jim, I'm sorry. No, that's not it. You have to take some personal responsibility. But if you were to say something to me and upset me, then that was beyond my realms of my control. And the government should do so. The government should have words,
Absolutely, they should have words.
They should be there saying, listen, don't be out there upsetting all the people or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smile even though your heart is breaking. Or some other Charlie Chaplin quote. That is...
Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, that is appropriate to the term, to the time.
It's brilliant that as a quote, you literally quoted the king of silent movies.
Well,
excellent.
Sometimes you say it best when you say nothing at all.
Very well put.
A Ronan Keating quote then.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done.
Be adequate. Yeah.
Because the weird thing about it is Irish people and weather. It is a very unique relationship.
Very
isn't
unique.
It?
Oh.
Because. We complain about it. Obviously, we talk about it endlessly, right? Generally complain about it, except for like about 3 days in any given year where somebody will say to you, God, it's a lovely day, isn't it? Lovely weather. Oh, it's good. It's a good spell, isn't it?
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
So you get that maybe for the 3 days of summer.
Yeah. And even then you go, take a fucking picture. Because it's going to be shit.
Yeah. Or you get somebody going, Jesus, but I can tell you something. What about the crops?
Yeah. What about the crops? You live in Finglas, you fuckhead. What about the crops? What do you care about the crops? Enjoy yourself. Get a cool pop.
The other thing is that we're always surprised by it.
Oh,
it doesn't matter how old you are and how long you've lived in Ireland.
Yeah.
You're surprised by it.
Every time. I have friends, genuinely, who don't own a jacket.
Yeah.
Every time it comes... March, though. Yeah, it's always bad in March. The fucking March, though.
Yeah.
Beast in the East was in March. Was it? I don't think you're right there. It fucking was. And then, but March, though. And then it rains and all. And
but even on big scales, okay, today it was a bit of a surprise, right? It was a bit of a... No, I don't think...
They called us all out today. The government let us down today.
They did. Yeah. But anyway, the thing about it is, you'd imagine there'd be kind of like, oh, Jesus, it's snowing. We better do the stuff we do when the snow comes. And that there'd be things you do. But no.
What, like tobogganing and all?
I don't know. You'd imagine there'd be a way of...
Like
other cities in the world sort of deal with it.
Yeah, well, for instance, Kelly's from Boston, right?
Yeah.
So when the snow is coming, right, it's a 4-day affair. So you get a notice in your door, move the car, right? The car has to be gone. Has to be gone tomorrow. You park on that side of the street. So they park on that side of the street. Then you get on the following side of the street. Then you bring the cars out. They salt the whole lot and everything. Then you bring the cars back. Then the snow comes and all the roads are treated. You drive as normal. Right?
Oh, so they treat it in advance of the snow coming?
Yeah, they go, listen, we're potentially about to hit about the snow. Here's what we do. They prepare so the city moves constantly, right?
Yeah.
Here, they say, it's not snowing. They say, it's fucking snowing now. And
Look out the window.
like, well, it doesn't say that on our website. Look out your fucking window, it's fucking snowing. Me car's halfway across the Alfieburn Road. There's an old one in the canal. Not well, this doesn't say it on our website. It's not on your fucking website because you're not looking out the window. You fucking idiots. And then you've got, like, and then you pricks like me. I came in on a fucking motorbike. I'm going to die on the way home. What sort of a fucking idiot does that? And you've got people out there walking around.
I love the way you're blaming them for you being a fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's their fault.
What sort of fucking idiot does that?
Nobody was there to stop me. Nobody.
You're supposed to take care of yourself.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Says fucking who? I was supposed to take care of myself, but I get fined for everything I do. Sometimes. I didn't even get a fine this morning. They let me do it. If I was speeding 60 miles an hour in a 50 mile zone on a sunny day in June, I'd be getting 3 points.
Yeah.
But so the whole country's on a standstill. I came in on a motorbike. The fuck is that illegal? It's not. That's wrong, Jim. That's fucking wrong.
You're so right.
Yeah.
God, you've brought me around to your way of thinking. I blame the government now myself.
Yeah,
Actually,
I don't
after
blame
that.
you. Yeah.
I wasn't originally going to blame them now, I have to say.
Yeah.
But, geez, I am going to now.
Vote
all right.
no.
Vote no.
Not in the next referendum. I don't know what that's about. The one after that. Just vote. I disagree. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Just go in and draw a picture of a Mickey on the street and walk out.
yeah. Right on the ballot paper. Where were you when the snow was here?
Where
what?
were you when that fucking tick was on his motorbike? In the middle of the snow? Wasn't even appropriately dressed. Yeah, that's what you should do.
And the weird thing about you specifically when it comes to kind of weather-related things is that you have the tiniest window of kind of comfort, right?
Yeah.
You're constantly either in a state of it's too hot,
yes,
or it's too cold.
Yes, very hard to get right.
And that's fucking indoors.
That's indoors, yeah. So what am I going to do now? How am I going to get home? Is there a minibus provided with chains on its wheels? No. They're not ready.
Yeah.
They're not ready.
I mean,
not prepared.
Like you live a full, what did it be? 1.6 kilometres.
How are you supposed to get from here?
That's, I think 1.6 kilometres is the equivalent of a mile, is it? I think that's 1 mile.
It's roughly a mile, I'd say, yeah.
Imagine like an able-bodied man having to walk a mile.
Again, I should have been allowed to ride a motorbike this morning. You have to take it home.
That's true. You might have to push it or something.
Yeah. Well, I'd say I have to take it home now during the week. I'll have to walk in and collect my motorbike because the government didn't say there was snow.
Yeah.
Well,
no sign of compensation.
Met-Air are still lying about it. Let's check their website now. Come on. Check these fucking...
Because they were going on about it raining. They said a lot about rain, and there was a rain warning and everything.
I'm sitting down now to read this out. Right?
Okay,
here we go. At the moment, ladies and gentlemen, right? I'm looking out the window, right? Piles of fucking snow, right? Here we go. What's happening now? Today, 1st of March, last updated today, right?
Okay.
At the moment. Last update is at the moment, right?
Right.
Cloudy and wet. Outbreaks of rain. Spot flooding. Flooding. How can you flood?
Yeah.
You could literally jump into a pothole full of snow there. You could build a snow castle in it. Top temperatures 4 to 6. It's freezing. And becoming moderate to fresh later on. Outbreaks of rain will generally clear. That hasn't started.
That's posh rain, is it? Outbreaks of rain.
Outbreaks of rain. That's how you say it when you're a weather presenter. Outbreaks of rain.
Yeah.
Well, Claire's
that's specifically for the Clontarf areas.
Yeah.
It's raining in Clontarf.
It's raining. It's absolutely howling rain. Yeah. So that's what it says.
They're in a state of denial. They're in denial.
Now, people might say this is a first world problem. Well, I live in the first world, so it is a problem. Why you get me started on speed bumps?
This never happened when you lived in Dunleary, didn't it? You know, in fairness,
it wouldn't happen in Dunleary.
You wouldn't be allowed happen in Dunleary.
It wouldn't happen in Dunleary.
They'd guarantee you sunshine in Dunleary, for God's sake.
Yeah, well, there'd be the man with the chain around his neck would come around knocking the door and say, I do apologise for the inconvenience. And you go, that's all right. Yeah, come on in and have a lemsip. and we'd pass the time together.
I'd offer you some tea, but I haven't been able to get out to the shops.
Have a lemsip. So,
have a lemsip.
Come on and have a lemsip. We're all having a lemsip. I made a pot.
I find it suitable for this type of weather, you know.
Yeah. Prevents a cold. Yeah, takes the edge off.
Yeah, brilliant. I tell you something. As I say, it is an absolutely unique relationship, Irish people and weather.
It's unreal, yeah.
Yeah.
Some people get very upset over it. I wouldn't be like that. No. You know, you have to learn to roll with the punches, I think.
That's true, yeah. First,
Yeah.
You're good like that, you know. Live and let live and all.
Live and let live. Roll with the punches. It's not a big deal, you know.
Fair point. Fair point. Right, let's give you some of the bits from during the week on the show. We were actually, funnily enough, we were talking about stuff about when PJ himself would have been of a young age, right? The kind of stuff that was allowable then, which would be absolutely... it would be illegal.
You'd be taken into care,
it would
essentially.
Be
what was considered a pastime would now be you taken off your parents.
Exactly. When it comes to kids, right, it's almost gone to the level that you wanted to go to, where somebody would say to you, you're not allowed to go out on your bike because it's snowing.
Yeah, you're not allowed on your bike because it's snowing. That would be like that. Now, when we have people who wear pool goggles, and I mean playing pool in a pub... goggles. Yeah.
So it was, we were reflecting on how it was a very different time for us.
Yeah.
Also, something that is probably closer to our age now than then is apparently, even if you're of a vintage.
Yes.
Apparently, it doesn't stop you doing what PJ often refers to as a bit of indoor aerobics.
A bit of love aerobics, a bit of bedroom aerobics, whatever it is. You won't believe who's up to it. You won't believe who's at it. Yeah.
Apparently, it comes on you all of a sudden when you hit retirement age.
Might not be menopause at all. That's all I'm saying.
So we had a chat about that. Also, apparently men, sadly, although it was one of those stories that we came across and we ended up being the living embodiment of it, actually. It was a story about men tending to let themselves go once they settle down.
Well, yeah, I mean, this was an uncomfortable truth for...
It was, yeah. Sadly, we saw...
Especially seeing as though we're still with people who make an effort. Why? Who knows? Who cares?
It's true. Well, anyway. Yeah. And then, of course, we talked about, and very appropriate considering we're recording this while it's snowing, we were talking about holidays and the wonderful things about holidays, even including the sounds that can help you relax. If you're lucky enough to be one of those people who can relax.
Yeah. How long does it take to kick in? Well, let's just say Jim and myself have very different body clocks when it comes to these things.
So have a listen to that and we'll talk to you on the other side.
GloryDaze. The best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
With InsureMyVan.ie, the van insurance specialists. See how much you can save at InsureMyVan.ie.
Big weekend this weekend for our PJ Gallagher. It was a milestone weekend when his role as a father came to the fore.
Sure, it certainly did.
And he was alone, left alone to guard and guide his two young children.
And thankfully, my, the legend of my incompetence was so strong, I was literally had house callers consistently and constantly.
Brilliant.
The entire time I was there, so nothing bad could genuinely happen.
And it went smoothly, which is fantastic. Because
you
see, the thing about it is, obviously, the reason that people might have been a little bit concerned about the idea of you being in charge of two babies is because your own childhood was, it certainly was fraught with
well, come on,
potential catastrophe.
We were raised in a different time. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
We were raised in a different time. There's a great conversation going on Reddit about the stuff that happened back in the day that would never happen now when it comes to parenting,
Oh, it's such a different world.
They were just asking people, and some of the stories are great, like one kid saying, just even Halloween, the fact that I used to be allowed dressed in black bin bags and plastic face masks and stand next to a bonfire for the whole night.
Yeah, exactly.
Seems like something that probably... has a little bit of hazard attached to it.
Bonfires that would have things like aerosol cans thrown into them. In the hope that it would take off like a rocket.
And everybody standing around dressed in plastic.
Yeah, and burning tyres, burning rubber, the fumes of burning rubber filling the air.
8-year-olds.
Very different time.
Very different. And then one lad said, my dad drove us from Kerry to Kildare, right? So there's 4 of us. And we'd no seatbelts around in the car back then. No one really cared to wear them, and there wasn't any in the back or anything. And the thing was, the front of it was broken, so we had to take off the steering wheel and use a vice grips to steer the car.
Steering with a vice grips?
Yeah.
With 4 kids.
4 kids in the back of those seatbelts.
That'd be grand.
And it was grand. And this is the thing.
Didn't you tell a story about the way when kids were, like years ago, kids getting into a car, it was really just find a space.
Find a space, yeah.
I mean, now, obviously, as you well know, with seats and seat belts
and all that,
the
and everything
booster
has their
seats and
place.
and
it
it's
is.
whatever. Then it was literally, if you could find a space, even if that was the shelf at the back.
Oh, yeah, even my ma'd go, I can take 11. You're like, what? I can take 11. We're going to a football match.
To be somebody in the footwell, somebody on the seat.
Lying down the ground and sitting on each other's laps. And the smallest lad, like you says, along the back window.
Yeah.
And the 3 tallest kids sitting on top of each other in the front seat.
Wow. Wow.
And then one of them would be there going, can I do the gears? And your man go, no problem, yeah.
Absolutely.
There's the clutch, second.
Wow.
Some big lanky one, or a hand coming from the back trying to do the gears, yeah.
Yeah,
unbelievable. Then another fella said, my dad's from Mayo, used to take trips from Dublin to see the parents and all, but they'd no motorways or bypasses or anything back then, it was nearly a 5-hour drive. So the dad used to put a mattress in the back of the van so the kids could get some sleep on the way.
Brilliant.
I definitely remember that.
That's luxury, that is.
I remember that with my elf as well. Like, you'd be allowed to sit in the back of the van or... when we went to see cousins,
to be fair,
back of a truck.
To be fair, your beloved father was he had his own unique way of dealing with them. With those kinds of issues, like the time he tried to sell you. In fact, not even sell you, just give you away.
Give me away, yeah. Or the time I was on the beach in me nip. Do you remember you were allowed to be in the nip back then?
Oh yeah,
You're not allowed now. And wear armbands. I was on the beach, and your armbands aren't allowed on the beach now.
Right.
And I was
Are they not? They're not. You're not allowed armbands.
No, you shouldn't have any flotation devices on a beach. No, you shouldn't. Like, they're for pools only. And I was in me nip in armbands, and I was feeling a bit of drag. I was getting into trouble. And the dad just stood there with a suit on the beach, going, "Kick your feet,
yeah,
kick your feet. Don't make me go in there."
Yeah, because he wasn't going to get his suit wet.
Yeah. Don't make me go in there after you. Kick your feet.
So,
do you want an ice cream or not?
It's like you were being bold. Wasn't like you were partially drowning. It was like you were just being, that's him all over.
Hey, look at him.
Him all over. He doesn't listen to you.
He's
kick your feet.
7 years old. He can't even handle 20,000 tons of moving water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the heck. Right. I don't know why I bother. Bringing him to the beach, to be honest with you.
And he's going to be...
I'm only trying to give him a good time.
Wait to see him now going home. He's going to be wrecked. Be tired after fighting the sea. Yeah, and he made me try and fly during a hurricane. So
that's the most famous one of all, yeah.
Well, in fairness, he didn't make me. He just stood inside the doors looking out the window going, yeah, you're nearly there, good luck, yeah. Flap harder. Made me hold 2 pieces of perspex and try and flap. Told me I could fly over the hedge into the neighbour's garden if I tried hard enough.
Oh my God. Somebody's saying here, when we were small, we'd be put into my aunt's old cadet and my mum in the front. My aunt's 6 kids and me and my 2 sisters. And my dad would then walk home. My God. They probably felt disgusted they couldn't squeeze the dad in. No seatbelts in the car. My dad had a VW transport van. 6 kids in the back with no seatbelts.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
My God. It was a different world.
A different world. And look at this poor lad. His ma took him down to the train station and says, ask the randomer, are you going to Dublin? I says, yeah. And she goes, would you look after him? Make sure he gets off at the right stop. And he didn't. He got off at the wrong stop. Yeah.
Just around.
Does anyone know the way to Dunleary?
GloryDaze. It's the very best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
If you're in the job at the moment, I suppose, I was going to say a lot of you would be, but you never know nowadays, people working from home or...
It's all that different world, Jim.
Could be in any sort of a job. You could be driving, you could be doing anything. But if you do happen to be in sort of an office job, factory job, or anything like with other people around, right, just have a bit of a glance around.
Have a glance.
And pay attention to this health and safety warning from Mr. PJ Gallagher.
Come here, I am shocked at this as a statistic, right?
Right.
They did they did a lot of relationship work crossover surveys, but one of them in particular stands out for me. And
of course it would stand out for you. You've finally been spotted in the workplace.
Extraordinarily, what do you want about? So absolutely shocked. A flabbergast. That was literally a flabbergast of language.
Yes, that was.
That was a flabbergast.
Yeah. Why though?
Why? Because when it comes to inter-office relationships, people who may have, gotten to know each other in a very personal way beyond the professional realm, it turns out that you're more likely for that to happen if you're over 65 years of age.
Wow.
So not only are people not retiring when it comes to the professional sphere as early as they used to, they're not retiring
They're
from
getting
the old.
fruity.
They're getting fruity.
In the
Great news.
in the twilight years.
Yeah, great news for the elder people in the workplace. Like, I mean, if anything ever happened to Jim's other half, and God forbid it does, I hope it certainly does not. It bodes well. There's
To keep
hope.
everybody safe.
To keep everybody,
So it turns out, so older people in the workplace are the ones who are regarded as being a bit more sort of, hello.
Yeah, they're much more likely to sort of kind of go, I don't suppose you'd like to have a business meeting over a Cosmopolitan.
I do like the way you're handling your stapler.
Yeah, would you like to go for a carvery after lunch? I used to ask people to go for a
A
big
carvery after lunch.
Oh, sorry, I meant after work.
I'll just nip out for my lunch and then I'll be back and we can slip away for a carvery.
Let's go for a carvery. I'd normally ask for something else, except the carvery is nice and soft.
Exactly.
We're less likely to choke on soft food. How does that make you feel? Does that turn you on?
So does that? So if you're in a workplace and there's, I assume this isn't gender specific, so it could be any gender.
Any gender.
In
It
the
doesn't
workplace.
cross over.
If they're over 65, they could be a little bit
Yeah,
sort
you're
of
much more likely to get personal.
little
much
bit
more
forward.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's not like, a weird thing or a creepy thing or anything like that. It's not insinuating any of that at all. It's just they say people of that age are more likely to hook up and, have a relationship.
in the workplace. Well, I
be it
suppose.
fleeting or long term with someone in the workplace who is of similar age.
Right.
No holds barred. I guess when you're in a place long enough, you start thinking, hell be tired.
I'm actually trying to think of what would be kind of typical industries where you might get a larger number of sort of older people or whatever operating. You know what I mean?
Too. It's a lot of civil service. Oh no, sure, they're all retired at 52.
Yeah.
Our business radio would be a lot, There would,
Yeah, but at least
Be
in their
lads
business, you're on your own in a padded cell for most of the time. You're not really.
That's true, yeah. But you do a lot of bonding in radio over what, when it comes to the old times. They'd be there bringing, they don't even spin records anymore. These kids wouldn't know what to do.
What would be an industry dominated by older people? Because, it'd basically be it'd be like a, don't know what sort of
I'm trying to think.
term you'd use to describe it. All of those over 65s.
Yeah, I know.
Left, right and centre.
Yeah, it's no wonder, I got whatever sort of industry they're in. You obviously don't have to put a lot of hours in. You're not being watched, in a constant basis. You can free to talk willy-nilly amongst each other about, times gone by, golden years that have gone and better times to come. It's like an open playfield.
I suppose
those
it is when you think
industries
about it. Though, when you get people in that age now, that's regarded as young. That's no longer regarded as old. Being over 65 is no big deal. And plus, you've gotten all your responsibilities out of the way. You've raised your kids, maybe paid some of your bills. You're literally young.
I suppose
no, you're not young. Sorry, you're literally not so young, free and single, though.
That's why I have a 66-year-old man saying, yes, why shouldn't I wear a leather jacket into the office?
Yes, and an open neck shirt down to my belly button.
Yeah. What's wrong with wearing a pompadour in a meeting?
GloryDaze. The best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
With insuremyvan.ie, the van insurance specialists. See how much you can save at
insuremyvan.ie. I think fatherhood has suddenly advanced middle age for you.
Come here. You're not wrong. You're literally not wrong. As in scientifically not wrong.
I hear.
Yeah, scientists have confirmed, and this is the truth, that what women have always known, let's be honest, that men, after they get hooked up into a long-term relationship, whether they get married, have kids, within 5 years, they start piling on the pounds. They let themselves go. They eat more calories. They exercise less. They've realised that marriage, long-term relationships, are associated with a significant effect on male BMI scores. An extra 5.2% of married men, their obesity rates skyrocket.
Do you know what the worst thing about that survey is? I can't deny it. It sounds absolutely true.
Isn't that the horrifying truth?
Wow.
Women listening to this,
hang a second. Then maybe there's something. Maybe the silver lining in this, PJ, is we can say it's not really our fault. Then could we say it's not our fault that life events have forced us into bigger trousers.
Well, now, life event, that's the greatest statement ever. Life events have forced us into bigger trousers.
What do you mean? It wasn't their fault we fell in love in long-term relationships and all. You know what I mean?
I must try
Life
that.
took over, and then all of a sudden your stomach was bigger.
I must try that when I go home to Kelly and the kids. Look at you are after doing. I'm a 43 waist now.
I used to be able to get into this shirt.
Yeah. I used to enjoy life. Now all I enjoy is cake. And whose fault is that?
Oh my God! So scientifically, we let ourselves go.
Scientifically, we let ourselves go. And here's the double edge. So women listening to this, remember that.
You have a lot to answer for.
Oh no!
Women listening to this, making us, have long-term relationships with you, and then suddenly we're fat and everything, and wasn't that to do with us?
Well, women listening to this, like I said, I would like you to know that the same scientific study that proved men let themselves go after marriage, the trope is it's women that do it. There's no evidence, internationally, no evidence that women do the same.
Women don't let themselves go.
Women are much more likely, far more likely, to keep looking after themselves to a much better degree. Women age, as all human beings do, but women are more likely to keep looking after themselves, whereas men are likely to just buy elastic waist trousers and wear slippers down to the shop.
There'll always be a bigger size, PJ. There'll always be a bigger size.
Always be a bigger size, yeah.
And anyway, the other thing about it is that just proves, right, the other great fallacy that men have, because men stupidly believe, right, that women, whatever, look well to impress them. Absolutely untrue. Women look well to impress other women.
Which is a huge thing. It's keeping face.
They really don't need to impress us.
Well,
I mean, look at the state of us.
Not the thing. It's like, and I've definitely been victim to it myself, where you go to an event and you say, oh my God, look, I can't believe it. I'm after buying this and she's wearing it. And her of all people, and we're both dressed the same. Whereas I walk in and I see six other lads and I went, see? I told you it was fashionable, didn't I?
GloryDaze. It's the very best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
Quite recently there, PJ confirmed he's booked his holidays for this year.
Holidays are booked, I can't wait.
Now, the question I have for you is, how long are you going away for? Are you doing the 7 days, the 10 days, the 2 weeks? What are you doing?
I'll tell you what, I'm doing all of it. So I'm taking a week away and a week to recover, and then I'm coming back.
Okay.
So it's 2 weeks
off
work.
So your actual away time
is 1 week.
Okay. The reason I ask is because there is... Have you ever come across that thing about how long a holiday should be? The people who say things like, a week isn't long enough, but 2 weeks is too long.
Yeah.
10 days is perfect, or whatever.
That's apparently what they say.
Because there is a little bit of an easing in time, sort of a de-stressing time.
Well, you've hit the nail on the head, right? I was reading a story this morning, and it was about favourite sounds of a holiday, right? Basically, a holiday writer, I think, really struggling with something to write about. And then they actually hit very accidentally on something that I think actually rang true, and it made me wonder. So, your holiday sounds that you love.
Are you talking about like the sound of the waves lapping on
the sounds of your bag unzipping, waves lapping, people laughing in the background as you close your eyes with a drink in your hand?
People laughing.
Well, some people, I know, neither do I, but other people do, And, all these different, like the sounds of, like for me, the sound of a motorbike starting when I'm on, like scootering along the ground, whatever. And all different sounds, right? And
sound of a waiter saying, "Can I get you some more?"
Exactly that.
Yeah, or a barman saying, "Top you up, sir." Yes. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm on holiday.
To find out exactly Jim's level of activity. But here's the thing. They realised you don't actually notice those sounds until you've unwound into your holiday, until you hit relaxation point. And that's different for everyone. So some people walk into a hotel room, throw down their bags, lie in the bed and go, oh my God, amazing. And then they suddenly go, oh, listen to them all outside, listen to the waves, they listen, all of that stuff.
So they're straight into it.
So they're straight into it. Other people, it takes me about 3 days generally to sort of accept them on holiday, stop looking at the phone, stop doing, to just sort of unwind properly. I'd say Jim
Again, I'd be with you on that.
That's
two things I've agreed with you. I'm not comfortable with this position of agreeing with you.
I actually don't think you are. I think you're about 2 months after the holiday's finished and you get home, you kind of go, oh God, thank God that didn't go wrong.
I should have really enjoyed that.
Oh, jeez, I'm going to just think about everything I did wrong.
Because I tell you what happens with me. I like to kind of, I fully relax when I know the lie of the land. You know what I mean? I'm a bit like that. So I'm a bit sort of, say you were staying in the hotel, right?
Yeah.
So after your first breakfast is out of the way and you know the way it kind of operates, and you know what I mean.
I
if
know.
it's one of those self-service buffet things, or if it's a whatever it is, and where everything is, and where
I know.
if there's a spa in it or whatever, or if there's a.
Most of us, when we're in a hotel, right, we go down to breakfast and we say, "Oh, right, I'm going to grab a tray here. Right, what have they got? Oh, I'll have a bit of that, this and that." Jim comes down and he goes, "Right, oh Jesus, where's the trays? Oh, here we go. Now I'm going to have to talk to someone." Oh God!
I'm just saying, I like to kind of know the run of it, and then I fully relax into it.
Then he gets to try. Oh, how do the omelettes work? Do you have to kill this way or that way? What way did the Spanish do it? Mother of the this is going to be a stress. Tea or coffee? I don't know. What do you drink? What would you have? If you were me, what would you have? What would you do, love? What's going on? And then he's worried. Did I insult anyone? Did I make a fool of myself? Was the breakfast good?
No, come on. Surely everybody has a little bit of that. Like, for example, you might suss out that kind of, there's a particularly busy breakfast time. You might want to avoid that or something. Or you might want, come on. And you'd have to, don't say you haven't at some stage on a holiday worked out where you think the best sunbeds are.
Oh,
you know what I mean? That gets the sun for the most amount of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody must do that. These are the little things you need to suss out. Now, when you have them all sussed out, then you fully relax into it.
But most people go, the sun's there, it's going that way, so I'll probably sit over there. Whereas you'll be like, 3 days, day 3, with a diary and all. On the 3rd day, I realised the Germans had it figured out. I moved my towel gradually as the days moved by towards that angle. Unfortunately, I was condemned by the Dutch, who got in before me on the 4th day. Tomorrow will be mine. My dearest love, this holiday is stressful. I shall see you soon. Have a drink on me, as I can't leave the pool.
GloryDaze. The best of Morning Glory with PJ and Jim on Radio Nova.
With InsureMyVan.ie, the van insurance specialists. See how much you can save at InsureMyVan.ie.
There you go, folks. Some of the bits and pieces from during the week on the show. What's the show called?
It's called Morning Glory, 6 till 10. It's myself and another fella.
He's very good at hair.
He's brilliant.
He's very good at hair. Yeah. Very good at hair. Very professional.
Bit forgetful, but very good.
So there you go, some of the best bits. So listen, assuming that we can actually leave the studio, that the snow subsides sufficiently for us to be able to actually get out.
Yeah, well...
Have you a weekend planned?
I was going to go and see Bows and Dundalk tonight. I suppose I'll just have an Indian now. And that'll be it. See you Monday.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it not on the LOI TV or anything?
Yeah, it'll be on the television, but I was going to go in and that. But I haven't seen a game this year yet. I'll go in next week. I'm going in with the nephew.
And funnily enough, they're on a bit of a winning streak, aren't they?
Well, yeah, they won one, yeah.
Yeah,
they won a whole game
that's
last
what I'm
week.
saying. They're on a bit of a... They're unbeaten.
Unbeaten in the last game.
Yeah.
Which is great record.
So it's now is the time to catch them if you can.
Yeah, and the team have actually met each other this week, which is great. So
you're looking forward to great things.
Yeah, looking forward to great things. So
right, well, hopefully the snow clears and you get a chance to...
Now, I know you're all saying, why don't you ask Jim what he's doing? Because I know exactly what he's doing.
Nothing.
Getting shit-faced on the Saturday, moaning on the Sunday, and coming in on the Monday saying, I'm going to have to fucking shake this up a bit because I'll tell you something,
That is absolutely true. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, in fact, I might do the same.
The fact that it's a snow day...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though I'm actually hoping the snow goes so I can actually get home, I will still enforce the snow day rule.
Oh, of course you will.
And go to the pub a little bit early and have a snow day.
It's a rule, yeah.
Yeah,
in fact, now that I'm probably walking home, there's nobody in pubs open at 10 o'clock in the morning. Again, the government need to do something about this.
That's true. Am I obliged to say always drink responsibly when you're on the internet?
I would drink responsibly. Just because it's 10 o'clock in the morning doesn't mean you're being irresponsible. I'll wear a helmet when I'm going to the pub and go to the bar.
You've been listening to GloryDaze, the best of Radio Nova's Morning Glory with PJ and Jim. Catch the show live weekdays 6 to 10 on FM, online at nova.ie, or on the Nova app.